Now that we've focused on our calorie consumption and we're adhering to a pretty good structure throughout the week, allowing ourselves to be flexible with our approach, particularly with the calories, and we're also now achieving a daily target of our protein, whether or not you're hitting that target right now or you're building up towards it, you've still got two things that are currently work in progress. Now, you may want to add in this final hurdle, or overcome this final hurdle, should I say, but you may also just want to be aware of it so that you have an answer to kind of just wrap things up nicely. So we've got our TDEE. As you've watched in the previous videos, it was 2,612 for myself based on my activity levels, my current weight, body fat, age, etc. minus my 10% deficit that I wanted to go into, because it's very realistic, it's achievable, it's sustainable, and it's something that I can adhere to on a daily basis without too many issues, which brings me down to 2,350 calories, as you've seen before. In my last video, I touched on protein, and just to recap, it was between 1.25 and 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So we went straight down the middle. There's my current body weight, 80 kilos, times by the 2 grams of protein per kilogram, left me with 160 grams of protein to consume per day. Now, like I said, if you're currently way off that, don't stress. Build it up over time. It's not going to be like you woke up one morning consuming 40 grams of protein for X amount of years of your life to now shoveling chicken breasts and turkey breasts and eggs down your throat to hit those targets. You've got to build it up, and it will take time. So allow yourself that time and be patient. But then one of the next questions that's probably in your mind is, well, what do I do with my carbs and fats? Okay, so we've now got actually 3 things that I want you to consider. We've got carbohydrates, but we'll call them carbs. We've got fats, and we've also got to take into consideration alcohol, particularly if you do like a tipple from time to time. Now, I don't want to go into too much science because there's not necessarily any need to, but there's certainly some things that you need to know in order for you to apply these systems and these protocols efficiently. So let me just go back up to protein. What is protein? Protein is 4 calories per gram, okay? Carbs are also 4 calories per gram. Fats are 9 calories per gram. And alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So it's important for you to know that. It's important for you to know it. It's important for you to have an understanding of these figures now, so that when we move on to the caloric quantities from each one, you understand that there is a subtle difference, and it is a difference that you need to be aware of. Okay, now it's important for us to understand the calories that we're going to get from each macronutrient or each food source. So we've got 160 grams of protein, and it's 4 calories per gram. So we're going to times that, we're going to move this away, and it's going to equal us 640 calories. Which then leaves us with, when we take 640 from that, it leaves us with 1710 calories remaining. So we've got 1,710 calories to split across our carbs, our fats, and our alcohol if you wish to. If you don't drink, that's absolutely fine, and particularly if you don't drink every day or have a glass of wine with your evening meal multiple times a week, you can scrap that. You don't have to worry about that. But it's also important to understand that it has a role as well, and that there is a repercussion of consuming alcohol, not in terms of just the alcohol content and your liver having to work harder and the tax and the toll it will take on the body, but also the calories. So what I'm getting at here is, as we know, we've got a TDEE with a calorie deficit giving us our calorie target per day. We then have a non-negotiable protein target per day. However, when we've removed the protein element and we know that we're going to hit 160 grams of protein per day, or we're working towards that, which is 4 calories per gram, we know that out of those calories, 640 of those calories are going to be allocated to our protein intake. So a question I often get asked is, well, how many carbs should I be eating a day? How many fats should I be eating per day? Should I be avoiding carbohydrates? Should I be avoiding fats? Carbs after 6, high fat diets are bad for you, all this. Calm down. None of those things that you have heard are true. We need carbohydrates in our diet for performance. We need it for energy. Our brain requires it. We need fats in our diet for hormone production. So don't shy away from consuming these things, okay? Now, we've got 1,710 calories remaining. What you do with those calories in terms of where they divide between these two is completely up to you. You could have your carbs, your fats, and you could go 50-50, straight down the middle. You could go 60-40. And you could then obviously do that either way. You could do 70-30. You catch my drift. You know the idea there. And it's pretty much dependent on what food you want to consume. Now, carbs don't make you fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. What will make you gain weight over time and gain body fat over time is going 60-60. Because you know that it doesn't add up. We've gone 20% over. It's the calories. Okay, it's the calories that will make the difference in the long term. If we're excessive, 70% here, and we go over a little bit here, 40, it's 110, but it's still going to accumulate and cause us to gain weight and gain body fat. So what you do with the remaining figure in terms of dividing it between your carbs, your fats, and a little bit of alcohol from time to time will enable you to have full control over your diet and ultimately your goal. And it just shows and it proves that carbs shouldn't be avoided, fat shouldn't be avoided, and alcohol can still be consumed when you're wanting to achieve the goals that you're wanting to achieve, providing that we don't overtake or overconsume that when it comes to those two, and that when it comes to those two plus protein, okay? So just to recap, we've got our TDEE, which is our total daily energy expenditure based on our age, our weight, our body fat, and our activity levels. Given a slight calorie deficit, took me to 2,350. I know that I need 2 grams of protein for every kilogram that I weigh, so I know that I need to be aiming for 160 grams of protein per day as a non-negotiable. We've identified that protein is 4 calories per gram, carbohydrates is also 4 calories per gram, fats is 9 calories per gram, and alcohol is 7. So we do a quick maths. I know that I need 160 grams of protein, times that by 4. I know 640 calories from my 2,350 is having to be allocated to protein, which finally leaves me with 1,710 calories to kind of do what I want with. Now be savvy, don't be silly. Have a blend, okay? Have a blend of the top 2. And if you want the occasional drink, structure it in. You have full control over everything you consume and all the calories that you intake once you have an understanding of this concept. I hope that's helped.